Okay, so I'm Nyla and I have about 10 years experience working in project management. I have a prior career working in supply chain and inventory management. And I've worked in retail, sort of in sectors such as retail, aerospace, fast moving consumer goods. And then more recently, I've worked, within local government. And in the last year, I've worked more independently as a freelance project manager, where I've been able to work with startups and work with entrepreneurs, looking into working on digital type projects. I've been able to use tools such as Asana and Trello and really understand or really explore sort of the AI and the automation along with, agile working. And yeah, just really sort of looking into, where project management is going, in terms of AI. Yeah, so I think it was in the first newsletter, we talked about the study that PMI had done. So Project Management Institute, they had done a study on the number of projects that, succeeded versus failed. And they said that 48% of projects tend to succeed, and, which is actually quite a low number if you think about it. And they mentioned that 12% were sort of outright failures, but then you had this 40% that was sort of in this grey zone. And the other thing was that the approximate cost as well. So when it comes to project failure, we were looking at around 300 billion in terms of what that's costing projects. That's an estimated cost worldwide in terms of what would constitute, failure. It's around 300 billion. And when you think about projects in the grey zone, it's around 1 trillion. So if you think that, about AI being able to come in and help change that, and even if it improved it by 50%, you're still looking at about 500 billion that it could actually improve. Yeah, so I think it was in the latest newsletter, which is I gave a scenario, I gave two examples of two fictional project managers. One's called Sarah, the other project manager is called David. And so Sarah is working in a traditional project management firm, and then you have David, whose organization implemented AI 6 months ago. So they work in two very different sort of areas. And the example that I gave was, so for instance, you'll have Sarah, and she'll come in, first thing in the morning, and one of the things that the first thing that she starts to do is she'll go through her emails, she'll go through her meetings, from last week, and she'll start chasing, for updates to find out where each of her work streams sits, and just be able to get a full picture of where it sits. And then on the other hand, you'll have someone like David, and his morning would start completely differently. So he'll come in, and the first thing that he sees is that AI has already provided him a detailed summary of what is going on, and that would have been sent over, say, the weekend, because AI doesn't sleep. And he's able to start looking at all the anomalies. He can see that it's self-managing. He can see that his teams have already updated, everything within the system. And he's really only looking for the things that stand out. And already he's got a compelling sort of picture in terms of what he's going to communicate, to his stakeholders. Yeah, so what I've done is I've broken it down into different phases, but I'll go through sort of things that project managers can start doing right now in order to, become that sort of future AI, future AI PM, of the future. So the first thing I think that in terms of the first phase, we're looking at tool mastery. So learning tools such as Asana, AI, Copilot, ChatGPT, even integration apps like Make or like Zapier. Those are tools that will really be able to, that we're sort of exploring right now, but they're really going to be able to help in terms of, be able to use AI and automate a lot of the work that we're doing to really take a lot of the admin work away from PMs. And then after that, I would say that the next phase we're looking at PMs becoming a little bit more sort of a strategic influencer. So within the next couple of years, companies are going to have certain AI tools already embedded into the organizations. And so once that starts to happen, then it's just about being for the PMs to be able to go in and pull out AI insights and use those AI insights and sort of turn them into business decisions that the leadership teams are looking for. So be able to sort of translate that language to, you know, to senior leaders. So that'll be the next phase. And then after that, the third phase, I've said that it would be becoming an AI orchestrator. So this is where it's really sort of using those tools to be able to create, you know, workflows, to create your own sort of systems, use AI agents, because I think AI agents is going to become, they're going to be used much more. So knowing how to use those AI agents and be able to get, you know, certain information from them. And yeah, and just mapping out, you know, work across the department. So it's just really sort of being able to translate that system into, you know, with humans and with senior leaders, just really understanding that. So that'll be the third phase. And then the fourth phase, I think that's where PMs are going to be sitting strategically with senior leaders, and they will be able to really help shape the future of the organization by using AI insights, as well as coaching and mentoring junior PMs. So I think that's a trajectory in terms of that's where it's going to go. But in terms of what project managers can start doing now, the key things are just play around, you know, with the tools. So play around with Asana, learn to create the rules that they have within, you know, the rules of, so for instance, if you have a task that's been completed, what always happens to that task, you know, once it's completed? Does it go to a different bucket, you know, or a different sort of section within Asana? So start playing around, you know, with the automations that it has. And even Copilot, being able to use, you know, like Zoom AI companion. I think Teams has its own version, and using that to, so say you have a project meeting or, you know, a stakeholder meeting, be able to use the information that AI creates from that in terms of the summary, in terms of the actions, and what you're going to do with that. So how you can then change that and turn it into an update for your stakeholders. So you might have something like an update that you want to give the project team, and you can sort of create a template, you know, within, say, ChatGPT, and it goes directly into that by using one of the integration tools like Zapier or like Make. So yeah, so just playing around with that and creating some sort of work that you'll be able to use, that can, you know, that you can send to your project board, that you can send to, you know, your teams. So that's something that you could start to learn, and as well as prompt engineering. So prompt engineering is going to be sort of here to stay. So that is something that to start learning as well. And in the newsletter, there's a really great sort of prompt framework that can be used. So use that prompt and create things like your PIDs, your project plans, you know, all the different sorts of documents that's created within project management. So you start to play around, you know, with that. And also human skills as well. And that's where the project manager is going, is just becoming much better at those human skills, such as emotional intelligence, conflict resolution, being able to coach and mentor others as well. And again, those are the things that you could already start doing, you know, now. So project managers can already start doing that, because that's where eventually that is going to be the core of what a project manager does. So those are the human skills that they can start to do now, as well as learning to translate some of the insights. So when you use things like ChatGPT, you'll be able to get AI insights from there. And then it's just translating that into the language of your company and your senior leaders. So yeah, so just taking that, learning the language of your senior leaders and being able to apply it. So yeah, so those are the things that I would say are really key in terms of learning, you know, for project managers. And those are the things that you can already start doing now, so that within the next few years, once we sort of get there, that's where, you know, it really sort of pay off.